And we're live. Is this from Superman?
No. Oh.
What is it from?
Look at that physique. Does that look like a Superman physique?
Terminator?
No. That is Terminator 2. That's Arnold fucking Schwarzenegger. He's slinging bikers around. That's the beginning of Terminator 2. He walks in there.
Face on Rubio. But he's like, oh. He's getting thrown through the window.
He slaps him with a pool stick. That's a great fucking movie scene. He walks in that bar fucking naked. The jukebox is playing, well, you taught me how to hurt real bad and cry myself to sleep. With the waitress like walking by with the drink. She like looks at Arnold's cock. She's like, like keeps on going. he enters the room and the big bad biker man is just like, the fuck are you doing in here? I need your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle. He's like, they're like, hey, and he burns him with that cigar. And Arnold doesn't even fucking move, of course, because he's a machine. And
he's Arnold.
Because he's Arnold. You know, I forget that he's a machine.
That was a good Arnold impression.
Living tissue of a metal endoskeleton.
Yeah. You have the very good staccato delivery of all the lines. It doesn't flow well between the words. Very sharp endings to all of it.
Arnold is, I don't know how, he transcends being an actor. He's more than just an actor. He really does.
It seems insulting, where it's like, he transcends that, you know?
He goes beyond that. Like, he really does. Like, I go back and I watch him and Carl Weathers and fucking Jesse the Body Ventura and Predator, and they're riding in that fucking Huey riding into battle. He's spitting that tobacco. And Jesse the Ventura's like just looking around, bunch of slack-jawed faggots, and just fucking dirty mouth.
This is all because of chemtrails.
He's not talking about that back then.
It's the government that caused
I know I've ranted on this before, but you got two future governors, Schwarzenegger and Ventura. You got Carl Weathers. You got Dennis Rodman.
I never thought about
some of those shots are Dennis Rodman in that Predator suit before he like left the film. Jean-Claude Van Damme at one time was attached as the Predator. He thought it was going to launch his career. He thought he was going to be out there doing karate moves or something. But you know, they just need a big guy to walk around in the suit, and it ended up being this just tall black guy that was scary. But that is a pure action movie. It is my second favorite action movie, only to Die Hard 1, but it is almost a perfect movie. And you know, there's so many one-liners.
You really think that your favorite action movie is Die Hard 1? I know that's probably a common pick for people. It's just, I don't know if that's number one.
Like, I don't know what I would put in front of it. I really like so it takes itself seriously and it's well made. And originally it was supposed to be the sequel to Commando, which is another Arnold Schwarzenegger movie that I like a lot. When they kidnap his daughter to try to make him kill that South American Presidente, and he's like, fuck that shit, and he's got, remember Benny when I told you I'd kill you last? He's like, yeah man, that's right, you did. I lied. He just drops him. Drops him. At one point his car flips upside down, so he just picks it up and flips it back over. And he in the beginning of the movie he's like walking with an entire tree on his shoulder, just like that's casual for him. And then later he picks up another truck and like pushes it down a hill. Like those movies were full of like feats of strength for him, and I love that. That's what I grew up with those movies. They're different for me. But yeah, Die Hard. I think Die Hard's my favorite action movie. I've seen it 4 or 5 times. It's not one of those movies that I watch repeatedly. I'm just familiar with it.
That might be higher up there for me than I think, because the more I'm thinking about movies that I like with action scenes, the more I'm thinking like, well, that's not necessarily an action movie. Like Lord of the Rings has a ton of action scenes, but
it's fantasy.
Yeah, it's like a fantasy epic, I guess you would call it, or something like that. I don't
Die
know.
Hard with a Vengeance, which is the third one with Samuel L. Jackson, is a close second. It's a very good movie.
I haven't seen the third Die Hard.
Oh, really?
Only the first two.
So, this isn't too much of a spoiler because what the fuck, right? But the guy, the terrorist in the first movie, his brother comes back to get John McClane. He's
Hans
got a
Gruber's
hot
brother.
Yeah, Hans' brother has a hot female like counterpart who's like slitting throats and stuff, and it's kind of cool. But the main thing is he pairs up with Samuel L. Jackson to kind of do this thing, and Sam Jackson is just a regular kind of everyday guy who's like, oh shit, every time something crazy happens. And at the beginning, what the terrorist makes Bruce Willis's character do is stand in Harlem on the street in his underwear with a sign that says "I hate niggers," and I mean a big sign. And so he's just standing there with this sign, and it's not long before he's spotted, and shit goes south, and Sam Jackson's character intercedes to defend him from these like people who are going to murder him, and so the terrorist is like, you know what, you like him so much, you guys are stuck together. You've got to jump through my hoops today, or I'm going to blow up a school, and then that's what Die Hard 3 is. It's very good.
Die Hard 2 was very, very bad.
Very bad.
Yeah,
I looked. It's considered an action movie. Braveheart.
Oh yes.
That's another one that
I love you.
I don't even know if, always have. Yeah, I don't know if I would include that as. I almost think of that as a drama, almost just as much as an action film. You know.
There's a re-edit.
Same with The Patriot is. I think so.
There's a re-edit of that film, Braveheart, that has the torture and death of William Wallace at the very beginning. You get that out of the way, and so then it feels like the rest of it is redeeming. You know what I mean? And because the way it's currently set up, I don't like to see the last 30 minutes of that movie. I don't want to see them torture the hero to death.
Freedom.
There's another thing. Both of those movies are great, but for me personally, and it's considered an action movie according to the internet, Saving Private Ryan I might like more than both.
Oh, that's a great answer. That's a good one.
It's not what I would consider a pure action movie. To me, it's a World War. It's a Spielberg fucking action.
It's definitely
movie.
Closer than Brave.
It's an incredible. It's a masterpiece. It's the best World War II movie that's ever been made. It's the best. The guys who were at D-Day watched this movie and said, "That's accurate. That's what D-Day was like."
Isn't that crazy?
The whole D-Day scene is. Sorry, Woody, I'll let you talk.
I'll try. But I think I've talked about this before on PKA. I was blown away at how anyone could survive this situation. You've got those amphibious boats, I'll call them. They roll up and drop what I presume to be a bulletproof door. Right now, it lays forward and becomes a ramp, and then they just get mowed down. And there it is. Yeah, 15 dead Americans. Never had a chance. It wasn't like they were bad at war, if such a thing exists.
Yeah. They just got a bad spawn, so to speak. That's not callous. That's just the fact. It's there might have been the most badass guy who just dominated in his classes, and they're like, God, Tony over here is gonna tear shit up when we get into Germany, and then he's about to go, and then. Yeah.
Tim
right
Kennedy,
to the eye,
right? Green Beret from last week. Tim Kennedy, Green Beret, Army guy, Special Forces, UFC fighter, one of the toughest people on the planet. Legit. If he's on that first boat, there's no skill set that protects you from what happened there. I think he's in a lot of trouble.
The whole and it's been parodied even in the South Park Imagination Land, that ringing, the ee from the flashbang and all the firing when they're on the beach and the guy's walking around and he finds his arm, which is just a remake of footage from World War II of a guy who actually goes to pick up his arm, misses it, and then picks it up again and walks away. That's real footage. It's so fucked up to watch that because he's have you seen that real footage? Did you know that was real, Woody?
I didn't know.
It's real footage of this guy. He's so in shock. The battle's going D-Day all around him, and he's standing there with one arm, just trying to find his other arm, and he does, and he just picks it up and walks like he's in a grocery aisle. He's just so not even there. Fucking horrifying. That's and I think especially as a man, you can empathize more with that, where it's man, I was just born in a time where I lucked the fuck out. I could have been that guy standing there pissing himself, or the guy next to him who was pretty confident who also died. That. I don't know. I'm sure you guys.
I like the one. You see that there's one part that really shows off the senselessness of it all. That there's the doctor runs over and he patches up this soldier, and it's a real fight. He's trying to get this artery clamped or whatever, and there's blood spurting, and it's a fight because they're on the beach, and there's explosions and mortars going off and tracer fire, and he's working and digging, and he gets it clamped off, and he's like, oh, thank God, and then a bullet hits the guy in the fucking head that he's been working on the whole time, and he's just dead like that, and it's just all right,
at any moment, it all can crumble. Nothing's
Saving Private Ryan. If you look up that, I'm sure you've got it pulled up. look at the supporting cast. I can't name them all very well offhand, but every one of those guys is outstanding. Vin Diesel's in there. A lot of people don't remember.
Yeah.
He's in there for just a few minutes. He dies when they try to save the French children. That girl or whatever. Yeah, he gets sniped by the sniper in the bloody letter.
But, here, let me read some. So Tom Hanks, Tom Sizemore, Matt Damon, Adam Goldberg, Barry Pepper, Edward Burns, Ted Danson.
Yeah, Ted Danson's that officer.
Giamatti, Dennis Furry. I'm trying to. Max Martini. I don't know a lot of actors. Yeah, it's.
I only know like 3 of these, so don't feel bad. Yeah, Matt Damon and Vin Diesel and Tom Hanks.
Tom Sizemore and Ted Danson.
Nathan Fillion? He's the lead in
Where is
Firefly.
Yeah,
is that Eyebrows?
Minnesota Ryan. He plays. Do you know the movie Firefly or the TV series?
Yeah, I remember now. So remember they're looking for Ryan, and he was one of the Ryans that they found who wasn't the right Ryan.
Oh, okay.
He was the Ryan who I think he might have been the Ryan that they told that his brother. They're like, yeah, your brother's dead, and he starts crying or whatever. What happened? My brother's in grade school. It doesn't make sense for him that his brothers have been killed in war because they're like, in school still back home. So it was, I think that's the character he played.
Vincent.
Anyway,
Walsh.
That's one hell of a fucking movie and an outstanding cast. Spielberg's made some of the greatest big fucking perfections of movies. Like Schindler's List is just incredible. I love Schindler's List. It's so sad. I don't like crying, but some movies I know are going to make me cry. Like a Sling Blade will make me cry every time. But I've only seen Schindler's List twice, and both times I feel really bad after.
Sling Blade didn't do it for me, and I used to bravely go against popular movies, but here we go with I'd rather listen to the dog impression. But I got kind of bored in Sling Blade and never invested in the characters. And also
at John Ritter's performance, powerful.
Saw the end coming.
Lives in his heart.
Way. I don't know. Now do bad Santa. She's going nuts.
Well, I love that movie. I think he's incredible. It's on Netflix. If you're listening out there, go watch Sling Blade if you haven't seen it. It is a touching, incredible performance by Billy Bob Thornton. I think it's just as good as Forrest Gump as far as a performance of a mentally challenged man. And if you watch it all the way to the end, it's so touching because his character is such a kind, pure kind of individual. I don't know. It really gets to me every time. His relationship with that boy and how he was missing any kind of human relationship, especially with his own father. And then he connects with this boy who has lost his father, and both of them are kind of lost in the world, and they just kind of have each other. I love that. It just really tears me up when they're having those conversations by the lake and all that stuff. It's a sad fucking movie.